while I go ahead and start the session. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much once again for making our time to join our September edition of my HR Story Live Series. What do we do here? All we do is just to tell real, authentic life stories. For all the glory that we see, there are stories beneath it. And a lot of times we do not have the opportunity to hear the stories behind the glory. What HR Storybook does is to bring to life the story behind the glory of people that have gone ahead of us. And what I say to people is storytelling is powerful. What storytelling does is it helps us discover learning and success principles that has worked and is proven in the lives of other people. Now, success principles do not discriminate based on age, based on your ethnic background, or based on your nationality. As long as you apply the success principle that has worked for anyone, regardless of your career, it will work for you. So the whole essence of our session is to learn while having fun, hearing stories and gisting. No PowerPoint, nothing. Let's just talk about it. It's just real conversations. And that is what we do here at my HR Story Live Series. We are 1 year, 1 month plus. Thank you so much to everyone that was part of our 1 year anniversary. You all made it a success. Thank you. And we are counting. I mean, the struggle is real, and we're all here together to support, to hold forth together, and to encourage one another. Whatever you're going through, you are not alone. Someone has gone through it ahead of you. Just hang in there. This too shall pass. On that note, please sit back and relax as I play our introductory video right now. And afterwards, I will read out the profile of our special guest speaker this evening. Please sit back and relax. I'll be right back. Identity and your brand. So if Bolaji had given you that target to be the top 5 person in the industry, thank you so much, everyone, and welcome back to my HR Storybook Live Series, our September session. I'll go right ahead and introduce our special guest speaker for today's session, Kemi Onadiran. Kemi is an award-winning multi-sector human resources and strategic business leader with over a decade of leadership and management experience spanning the oil and gas, ICT, investment banking, management consulting, advertising, agri, and FMCG. She has been instrumental to the conceptualization, execution, and delivery of several HR transformational projects and initiatives aimed at achieving business goals and objectives in the various capabilities she's worked in. Her areas of specialty include change management, talent acquisition and management, strategy and execution, project management, business intelligence, employee engagement, health and safety. She is an associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development Professionals. She's also a certified HSC professional with the Nigerian Institute of Safety Professionals. She is the visionary behind Careers with Kemi on Instagram, a career platform with an active follower of 17,000 young Nigerian job seekers and professionals, where she engages her niche audience with current job opportunities, career trends, tips, current job opportunities, and so much more. She helps young job seekers and professionals get clear direction in their various careers. She is the author of the book Rookie 101. I have a copy of the Rookie 101 here, powerful book. In this book, Kemi shares some practical, relatable secrets to getting hired and keeping your first job. This book gives a hand-holding for young job seekers, career enthusiasts, and young professionals transitioning into the world of work. Her passion for helping young professionals and job seekers and her personal experiences as a rookie several years back birthed the idea behind this book. She is currently the group head human resources, Amor Farms Sobere, and Natnudo Foods, where she is responsible for managing over 4,000 talents across the group. Wow, wow, wow. Her profile is so heavy, and we are so honored to have in our midst today, Kemi Onadiran. So Kemi, can you please turn on your video? Let's see your face.
Yeah, my video is on. It's
okay,
on.
So I can spotlight you. Thank you. Oh, great. Yeah. Wow, always looking pretty. I mean, always looking pretty. Even on a Saturday. It's not even a work day. Thank you so much, Kemi. We are glad to have you. I mean, you're someone who is really passionate when it comes to careers for people. And like I did mention, there is a story behind the glory that we all see today. Today, you are the group head of HR. But I know that there's been a whole lot of stories that you've encountered with regards to growing into your career. We'd like to hear from you, especially given the fact that our conversation today rests on career resilience. It's really tough out there, and that's the honest truth. It is tough out there for people. And we just want to connect with people that regardless of what you're going through, you are not alone. I was speaking to a young lady yesterday. We were having a career coaching session, and she spoke to me how salaries were slashed at our organization 2 months ago. And we both know what the current exchange rates are. We both know that cost of living has skyrocketed, yes, and yet your source of income has reduced. And yet your employer still demands of you, right, the same motivation, the same level of work output. And yet we even have people that are not even in any form of employment yet. And those that are in employment, I mean, it's really tough, and that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
So we would like to hear your story, Kemi, in terms of your passion with working with young people with regards to their career advancement. What has been your driving force? You in your book, Rookie 101, very powerful book. What has driven you over the years? We would like to hear from you, and I will encourage everyone, please feel free to go into the chat session and drop in your questions for Kemi as she shares her story with us. So Kemi, take it away.
Thank you, Coach Lara. Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today, and this is an opportunity for me to share my story, because my story is one of motivation, and I would say grace of God, because people ask me, oh, how did you grow so fast in your career? How did you get into HR? And when I tell them my story, they find it difficult to believe, but I'm glad I will be sharing that here today. So you asked about my driving force. Lara, I would say I'm someone who is very self-motivated. I do not believe nothing is impossible. I believe in possibilities. So that has really driven me. Then looking at my background, how I was raised and the kind of family I grew up in, I had this resolve that no, whatever I set my mind to do, I must do it and even go beyond expectations. So that has really driven me. So do you want me to talk about how can I go on with that?
Yes, please go ahead, Kemi.
Okay, yeah. So this is a funny story. After my youth service with NMPC, where I served in the HR department, I got my first job with an IT company. So I was to have a boss, an HR boss. She resumed. After 3 days, she left. She told me she couldn't cope with the work culture. It was really terrible. So she left. The consultant brought in someone else. And after about 2 days, the person left. And I recall my MD came to me. Okay, Kemi, since you've stayed, just become the head of HR. There was nobody to learn under, nothing. It was like throwing me into the deep sea, sink or swim. So it was a big shoe for me. I had not really gotten that much experience to become HR manager. I was employed as HR officer. But what did I do? I went back to the drawing board. I asked myself, can I do this? Or should I just resign? Or what should I, where do I start from? HR manager managing over 100 people with little experience. I said, no, I will do this. If he saw me and believed that I would be able to do this, then I need to brace up to the task. So what did I do? I met a couple of people, mentors at that time. I spoke to them about my challenge and they said, see, Kemi, you can do this. It's not out of the ordinary. Just register with CIPM, start reading up. You can ask questions when you have challenges. And trust me, that gave me the kick to start my career with that company. So I quickly registered for CIPM. I started attending classes. I was always reading up. I was always reading. With HR, it has no two organizations are alike. Something happens here and also in another organization. How you solve these problems are not the same. So I kept asking questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. I kept asking questions. I kept reading. Personal development was something I was always on. I don't joke with my personal and professional development. So I was always looking for ways to learn new things, new ideas, innovative ways of doing things. And that really helped me. 1 year down the line, he just called me to say, see, Kemi, you've really done well. I will just get an assistant for you, like HR officer. And that was it. That was how I started working. Until now, I have never worked under any HR manager. So it has always been like that. So I grew really fast. But behind the scenes, I had a lot of work to do. I kept updating my skills. I kept reading up. And funny enough, this environment I worked exposed me to a lot beyond HR. It exposed me to, knowing the business, not just doing HR. So I'm a very business-minded person. So I was engaged in a lot of projects as change manager, either project champion or something. So I was learning the ropes, even on the job. So I was asking also for feedback. So when I get those feedback, I go back, look at the gray areas, look at where to work on, where to improve on. And that really helped me. It helped me. So the gaps were not really there. And my appraisal was good. I had a very positive mindset and attitude. I saw every challenge as an opportunity to learn. And that was how I took on responsibilities with that ownership mindset. So that really helped me scale through. And here am I today, 14 years down the line. I've been group head in the various capacities I have worked in, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So I would say mindset is everything. I have this positive mindset. I have this can-do spirit. I am a very resilient person. I don't say no. Even when I don't know, I say yes, go back, look at how it's done, then get the job done. So that has really helped me grow fast in my career.
Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you so much, Kemi, for sharing your career journey. Like you did mention, you didn't have it all rosy and easy.
No.
It was a tough call. You had a very huge responsibility to deal with at the start of your career with almost no guidance, almost no supervision or any leadership guidance at all. But regardless of that, you went ahead, you went to sort opportunities for you to learn on the job. So what I hear you say, sometimes our careers might throw at us challenges that we think we do not have capacity for. So it might stretch us.
Yes.
But however, the mindset, like you mentioned, it starts with the right mindset, a positive mindset that regardless of it, you can do it. You did mention that you sought mentors, you sought personal development, you sought professional development, and of course, you were asking for feedback, which is also critical. There's a quote that says, champions eat feedback for breakfast, which means you were open to take constructive feedback, regardless of there was something you mentioned at start, that the HR manager resigned because of the culture, the environment, which maybe she considered toxic, or I don't know, or was maybe it didn't meet her expectation. So you were in that same environment. So what worked for you? How were you able to navigate through that environment that she had concerns about and left, but you stayed, you grew in that same environment?
Okay. It was kind of toxic, and they had a lot of things that were not in place. For example, we had drivers coming to work with pajamas. It was a time where there was nothing like queries, no sanctions. So staff just came to work, and they were behaving how they liked. So there were no processes in place. So for that was the like starting the HR department. She was supposed to come start the HR department while I supported her, and she just told me no, she couldn't do this. She had gone far in her career, and she doesn't see herself, starting all over again. So for me, I saw it as an opportunity to grow. I saw it as an opportunity to learn, and I took advantage of that. And trust me, I did learn. Was it tough? Yes. It was tough. It was tough. I remember the first query I gave someone, they pasted it on the notice board, they said all sorts, but I had my eyes on the goal. I knew what was obtainable in other organizations, and I wanted to bring that there. The MD wanted me to help change that environment, which I did. In fact, I even won an award for that. Yeah, so I faced a lot. I faced a lot with the managers, with the staff. I faced a lot of backlash, but I didn't back down. No, I kept forging ahead, and that really helped me. So I built resilience. I built that tough skin. I call it tough skin. So nothing really got at me. I just wanted to get the job done the right way, and that helped me. Yeah.
Wow, that was powerful, Kemi. So two people in the same environment, one person backed out and said, I can't deal. And you saw it as an opportunity to make an impact, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. So what I hear you say is sometimes we don't have control over our environment, but what we have control is our mindset, the perspective, and what we want to make out of it. You made a comment that I also found profound. You said, despite the fact that you were faced with backlash, but you did not back down. You kept your eyes on the goal. You kept your eyes focused on the impact that you want to make, despite the fact that you were a greenhorn in such a tough environment. I think one of the things that equally helped you from your story is you had your management buy-in, like you did mention.
Not totally. So some change initiatives were gradual, but I made them see reasons why we had to go that route. So what I did was, that was where I also learned about analytics. I started using data analytics way back. So my MD then was someone who believed in numbers, don't come with. So I did all the analytics, attrition rates, job dissatisfaction rate, and some clients then were complaining about some of our staffs not having the right skill set. So I used data to drive home my points, and gradually I was able to get his buy-in.
Okay. So what I also hear you say is, with regards to building trust, it takes time.
It takes time.
Right? It takes time. So another question that came to my mind while you were sharing your story is, was there any time where you doubted yourself, given the fact that your experience was limited, you didn't even have anyone hand holding you? Did you doubt yourself at any point? But because I was speaking to someone recently and we we're talking about imposter syndrome, where a lot of times we doubt our abilities, to just feel, am I cut out for this? Can I do this? Did you have such feeling at any point in your career? And if you did, how did you overcome that feeling?
Obviously, I did. I think with everyone, at some point in your career, you would have that self-doubt. You might not say it out, but once in a while, when you are faced with some challenges, you ask yourself, can I really do this? Do I have the rights? Am I the right person to do this? So what I do, I have this mental block. Sometimes when I start getting those kind of negative vibes, I just choose to focus on the positives. I don't let that, weigh me down. It comes once in a while. I ask myself if I am adequate enough, if I'm competent enough. So what I do, I go back to the drawing board. I talk to myself a lot. I tell myself I can do this. So I have these positive affirmations I say every morning. So I can do this. People doing it don't have two heads. I just need to understand the root causes of this, how to, solve this problem. So sometimes when I'm faced with some kind of problems that seem too big for me, or even outside HR, I tend to consult with, mentors I can speak with. Then I, look at how I have a to-do list. This is something I do often. Okay, how do I go about this? And I list everything down. That really helps me to, know the next steps to take in solving a problem or coming up with maybe a solution or getting jobs done. So once in a while, we all are faced with that, but the ability to, pick up yourself and, give yourself that affirmation that you can do it helps a lot. So everything still boils down to mindset. The mind is a very powerful place. So what happens there also can affect the outcome of what you do. So I have a very positive mindset. So this has really helped me.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, when you talk about mindset being the fundamental to whatever we are gonna be, yeah, absolutely spot on. But in an environment where if you turn to your left, negative news. If you turn to your right, negative news. Everywhere you are, social media, online, people are having conversations. I mean, there's just so much problems out there. How do you still keep a positive mindset? You are stuck in traffic, you get where you're going, there's no light. I mean, there's just so many things that we have to deal with. But yet, how are you still able to keep this positive mindset? What has worked for you? Please share with us.
Okay, for me, I practice what they call mindfulness meditation. I remember during the COVID, there were a lot of negative news, even close colleagues died, family members. There was a lot of negativity on social media. If you tune onto the television, you would see a lot of negative news happening, things happening around the world. So what I do, I mentioned mental block earlier on. I choose to focus on the positives. Because the negatives have a way of, affecting how I think and my state of mind or emotions at that moment. So I wouldn't want anything to distort that, being that I was also working from home. So what I do, I practice mindfulness a lot. I look at what is the positive side to all of this. I focus on the positives. I look at my family. I have my family. I have, again, I was able to bond well with my colleagues at that period. So I looked at the positive side of the whole situation and I focused on that. I didn't allow any form of distraction. So there was this distraction with, oh, this is happening here. Someone had COVID. And so I didn't just I didn't put my energy on that. I focused on what mattered at that time. And I focused on one job task at a time. So that also helped me get things done and my emotions was not affected. Another thing that helped me was my social networks. So it was also an opportunity for networking with others online. So that also helped me, come out from of those negativity that was around. So whenever there were things bothering me, I could at least talk to someone who would say, oh, we are all in this together, we're in the same ship, we'll come out of this. Then again, I would say religion, because I'm someone who is also spiritual. So I pray a lot. And that also helped me rekindle my hope that, okay, things would get better. So those are things that really worked for me.
Thank you so much. What I hear you say is us taking out some time to ourselves, right? Making out time to reflect, making out time to spend with yourself. Mental block in terms of focusing on what you want and giving a deaf ear to whatever is negative that you don't want to take into your mind. Then you also talked about right association, an association where networks where they foil you positively, they encourage you, and you're able to rub minds with like mind. Of course, the ultimate source is staying connected to your maker. Wow, thank you so much. I have a couple of questions for you already, Kemi.
Okay.
Okay, I think you already answered one, which says, how do you cope with pressure? I think you've given your responses that has been answered. So I have a question here that says, have you ever received negative feedback from your manager? How did you respond to that?
Okay, I think the only negative feedback I received, I wouldn't even call it negative. He called me one day and said, see, Kemi, you don't delegate. You don't delegate. You seem like a perfectionist. So, I took that, and I think I've heard someone else, not a manager this time, someone had told me that. So I took that feedback. I had to reflect. Am I really a perfectionist? You can't lie to yourself, Lara. And
Sure.
somehow I said yes. So for me, it was from a place of getting things done, because sometimes if you really want to get things done, you have to get it done yourself. Yeah, so I don't like the idea of delegating and not getting that thing done. I feel like a failure. So I had to reflect back, okay, how do I work on this? Okay, maybe I should delegate more, allow people do these things, and maybe, supervise them to ensure that it was done. So that was about the only negative feedback I got. Kemi, start delegating more. You are too much of a perfectionist. Start allowing people do these things and, so that you just supervise them. But being the kind of person I am, I'm so aggressive. I'm a very aggressive person. So even while they are doing it, I just ask, okay, are you doing this? What stage are you? Just to follow up to ensure, things get done so that there are no excuses for failure.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for a lot of times, sometimes as leaders, especially people who are highly result driven, we might become impatient with our team members who usually would take their time, right, to get things done. And then afterwards, they might not be able to catch up to our speed, but there's a whole lot of support and patience that is required of leaders. And so that takes me to my next question, which is on micromanaging. I mean, recently, a lot of young people feel, oh, my line manager micromanages me, and it causes stress, unnecessary stress for me. oh, my line manager wants this at so time. My line manager is not empathetic. My line manager sends me, just yesterday, somebody was saying my line manager sends me chat or emails at 11, and they want a response at that 11 o'clock. So there's been a whole lot of infringement into people's personal lives, and their line managers and supervisors sort of sees it. They don't see it as being wrong, but on people, on employees, it stresses them. Can imagine going through. Now we all work, a lot of us work from home. You spend a lot of time at your laptop and you just want to catch your breath in the evening. You want to spend some time with your family. Then an email comes to your mailbox. The next thing, your phone is ringing. Your line manager suddenly wants something done at 10 p.m., at 11 p.m. And it's taking a toll on people's health. And it's coming across as if line managers are not even concerned or bothered about their well-being anymore. They just want results because you can access your system while at home. So what has been your experience in this area? What would you recommend, especially for young people now who are sort of struggling with giving that feedback to their line managers to say, please, can I take a break? I mean, I've been on this system all day, and 10 p.m. you suddenly want something. Can you just respect my personal space? Because it's more like there are no boundaries anymore. What has been your experience, and what would you advise people going through such?
Okay, I think COVID even worsened that. Fine, it used to be there, but with COVID, in fact, for some, they have no resumption, no closing time. I personally experienced that. I was having meetings sometimes till 1 a.m. And this has a way of affecting even your physical and mental health and your family. So that was a cause for concern because we had some of the staffs falling ill, and we had to look at the work schedule. So what I advised was to prioritize tasks. Okay, line managers, help your team members prioritize their task. What is it they need to do urgently, that they need to deliver on urgently? Give them time frame. So there was this like a time sheet. Some called it micromanaging, but that really helps them with, managing their time, so that at 10 p.m. you are not calling someone to submit a report or ask for something or get a reply. No. So, okay, there was this timesheet. What is it so it's a weekly thing. They list out what they need, what their deliverables are, because I work in an industry where one's output determines another person's inputs. And it's a chain and it keeps going that way. So we needed to manage their time. We also needed to manage the resources. So there was this weekly timesheet that was completed. So your task, you share with your line manager, you both agree. Then you list out your deliverables, timeline, such that when you don't meet your timeline, you know that, okay, you need to cover up for that. So that also helped with time management. Then again, what I did was to come up with a training on time management for managers to help them manage their team members right. And some line managers would not like the feedback they get from their team members, but they were experiencing burnout. So the burnout was real. So the only way I could help them was to ensure that they understood the concept of time, and also not push their team members to a state of burnout, because they wouldn't deliver and they were errors. So when I saw that gap, I had to work on that to try and close the gap. But sometimes you get you still get some messages at that time of the night, asking you to maybe submit a report or respond to something. So that was properly managed with training and with also constant communication on better team performance and management.
Wow, how were you able to achieve that for 4,000 plus employees? Wow.
Well, I work in an environment where we have farms. So they for the farm officers and the attendants, they know their shifts. So that didn't change. But for those at the head office, You know, we were constantly having meetings to know what was happening, updates and reports. So that issue came up in one of our meetings when we had some team members not attending the meetings due to maybe fatigue or burnout or illness. So we had to look at rearranging meeting times and work schedules. And we as leaders were able to come up with something that really helped the performance of our team members. And it was agreed upon because the facts were obvious. People were falling ill. They were falling ill. The burnout was real. The people were struggling with a lot of issues, personal. The whole COVID thing just disrupted a lot of things, emotions, mixed emotions. And also it was a time we needed to just manage people's time so that they deliver on their jobs.
So what I hear you say is empathy. There was a time that HR had to be empathetical with people to help them manage their time, because
Yes.
we put ourselves in their shoes and realize, okay, guys, you're burning out. And what can we do is to help support you with better knowledge on how you can manage your time and improve your team performance.
Yes.
So that way people don't burn out. And we look at the things that we can review as a business, such as the work structure, such as the tool or technology that can help enhance their productivity and performance. At the end of the day, it's HR helping people to improve on their productivity by being empathetical. Wow, empathy is really critical. Thank you so much, Kemi, for sharing that. So thanks everyone. Please, if you have any question, feel free to post on the chat box. Lots and lots of learning on career resilience from Kemi today. So Kemi, as a career coach who is really passionate about helping young people build resilience in their career. So let's talk about your experience with young graduates who perhaps are out of employment and are seeking gainful employment at this period in time. How are you, what recommendations have you made for them that has worked with regards to staying resilient, staying positive? I mean, for some of us that have, our jobs, it's easy, but for some people that don't have anything doing for now, what recommendations are you giving them that has worked with regards to, staying positive where there are no jobs? How am I going to stay positive? Would like to hear from you on that.
Okay. I have a lot of young job seekers who reach out to me every day. In fact, I have 17,000 followers, most of them job seekers, following me and sending me inboxes. Some would say, oh, I need a perfect environment where this would be in place, where they would train me, all of those sweet talks. And I tell them, there's no perfect environment. However, there are great places to work, but you need to focus on yourself. Focus on what value you want to add to an employer so that they find you attractive. Don't just focus on what they have to offer me. What do they have to offer me? After all, I've gotten my first degree. No, the world has moved beyond degrees. It's now about skill sets. While degrees are good, fine, but you need to develop relevant skill sets that would solve problems. So I tell them, see, it's a phase and there are processes to these things. You don't just wake up overnight and say, oh, I want to become this, I want to become this. You have to build that resilience. You have to be patient with the process. There's a phase of learning where you learn, you acquire skills, you learn, you grow. So I find a lot of young seekers saying, oh, I want to leave. I think I'm doing too much. And when you dig further, I think they are not just patient enough to learn the ropes, to learn on the job, to add value. They're not, some of them are not even looking at what value they want to add to themselves. They just want to start earning big, start making the money. So there's this thing, there's this mindset, the young folks have these days. They just want to grow. They just want to become, like an expert overnight.
They want to be thought leaders now. How about
Yes,
Kemi? Yeah, thought
yes.
leader. They want we all want to bear title thought leader.
You have to do some background work on yourself. You have to work on yourself. We all grew, from the lowest to where we are today. You have to grow. You don't just wake up overnight and say you want to be this, you want to be that. What value are you bringing to the table? When I interview young job seekers and I ask them this question, they are telling you they are bringing their degrees to the table. What degrees? Will degrees get the job done? What skills have you acquired? How have you developed yourself? So in so doing, you have to go through a process. It comes with a lot of sacrifice. It comes with a lot of pain, but you just need to learn. So in learning, you grow. And when you grow, you move up. So growth comes with movement. So they need to change that mindset. There's a phase of learning and there's a phase of growth. So it's a phase, and they need to be patient enough to grow through these ranks. So I tell them that be patient, keep learning, keep an open mind. I started as HR, but today I do project management. I'm a content creator. I do graphics design. I work on projects. So I've worked on various projects. So I spread my tentacles. I see every challenge as an opportunity to learn. So I can say, okay, I have 2-3 careers, not just HR. So I'm relevant. I'm relevant to myself. I'm relevant to my organization because I do just beyond HR. Don't restrict yourself. Keep an open mind. If one pathway is not working for you, what opportunity is there for you to learn? Learn what you can learn and you grow. The world is moving really fast. You don't just stay in a place to say, oh, this is what I want. Don't have a fixated mindset. Have an open mindset. Be positive. Look out for opportunities. Take them on with an ownership mindset. And that is how you grow. With the right attitude, things will fall in place. So this is what I always tell them.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kemi. That was powerful. So what I hear you say to job seekers with regards to staying resilient starts with them having the right mindset, ownership mindset. Don't outsource your problems to another person. Don't say, oh, I don't have this skill because HR is not training me. I don't have this because no one is training me. So own yourself first. That's what I hear you say. Have the right mindset, have the right ownership, keep an open mind, and be patient. I know a lot of them are very aspirational, right, with the young folks. They come with a lot of energy. They come with a lot of belief that they can do things, and they really can do things. But there is a learning phase, which is critical in growth process. Yeah. There's the knowledge, there's the learning phase, right? And a lot of times they want to come across that I can do it. I want to be big. I want to blow and all of that. But so they put themselves under undue pressure. And when you put yourself under undue pressure, then you're subjecting yourself to unnecessary and emotional stress, which can lead to depression, right? So it's be patient, trust the process, and build resilience, stretch yourself. There are opportunities like Kemi mentioned, but it comes with you being a person of value. What value are you bringing to the table beyond your degree? So people come and say, I don't have experience. What skill have you learned? Kemi, you mentioned that you do beyond just HR. You learn project management, you learn content creation. And that's the honest truth. I was telling some people a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, then my daughter was 9 or so. She did a PowerPoint presentation that blew me away. I mean, I was working at a management consulting firm then, Accenture. So I know a lot about PowerPoint presentation. I saw my 9-year-old daughter did a PowerPoint presentation that took me years of learning as a consultant, and I was blown away. And I said to myself, if this is where my daughter is, then I need to up my game. The next thing I went to was to learn animation, because I said, okay, beyond that, what's the next level for me? I learned animations. I do graphic designs. I mean, there's a whole lot I do. I try to put my creative skills to use, which one way or the other adds value to my work in the office. So don't stay where you are. Don't just stay where you are. Learn the process. Keep adding value to yourself so that you can stay relevant. Wow, we have just a very few time left. Thank you so much. I have one question here for you, Kemi. It says, please, ma, how does HR recognize a potential employee who could do so well?
Okay, that is where talent management comes in. I would give an instance. Recently, I discovered a staff who was on another job but could do something else. Somehow that staff was not given the opportunity or couldn't say, oh, I can do this and this. But somehow I was able to identify that this person had certain skills. And I called her, come, can you, I noticed you have this, can you do this, can you do this, can you do this? And she says, oh, yes, I can. If I'm given the opportunity, I would. And I said, okay, since this position is vacant, and I don't want to bring in someone from outside to occupy that position, can you shift into this role? Let's see what comes out of it. And she's been doing excellently well. So sometimes you need to look beyond what people do. You also need to look at their strengths. People have strengths, and once in a while it comes out. So as a talent manager, it's your responsibility to help them identify these strengths and see how to harness these strengths for both personal and for the business. So it helps them feel fulfilled. It also helps the business, harness the strength of such stuff. So talent management really is helping others identify that some don't even know they have certain skills. You just see them doing some things effortlessly well. And you ask yourself, okay, if this person can do this, I feel this person can fit into this department or can do this. So as HR managers, we are also tasked with the responsibility of helping others identify their talents and helping them leverage on that.
Thank you so much, Kemi, for that response. I have a question here. It states, I work in the agri department of a bank, and CBN stipulates that postgraduate agri qualification is required. What level of qualification should one target? A PhD, master's, or can some certifications or short foreign courses suffice? Please advise.
Okay, I know for our industry, we have certain certifications and we partner with IITA in Ibadan. They are, I think, international, tropical, something that has to do with agric. So depending on what aspect of agric you are into, if it's for farm management, if it's poultry, if it's livestock, they have some certifications that would help you, become more abreast with the technicalities of that profession. So yes, you mustn't have a master's or a PhD, but there are certain certifications you must have. And you can get that from the IITA. They have some information on their website.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I mean, that's very industry specific question.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Woo.
Okay.
HR farmer. Is it okay to call you HR farmer?
Yeah.
And I love our profession as HR professional.
Hello, Lara.
Yes, please. Would give you some
Can
time.
we make some contributions after
Oh, yes,
your...
please. Yes, definitely. Yes, sir. We're all enjoying Kemi together. Please,
Yes.
I will give it. I will give you the opportunity.
Okay.
Or do you want to respond to the question being asked or being answered by Kemi?
Yes, it's just to make an addition, like an addendum to what she said.
Oh, great. Please go ahead on that note. Thank you.
Okay, the last question, how do you identify employees with, multiple talents.
Oh, okay.
I think again, that's why it is important that we engage in job rotational strategy, to enable us really identify this. Just of recent, I discovered in some of my direct reports what they did not even realize they have, like hidden talents, and I decided to swap to make within the department. I decided to do a reassignment within the department, and they felt, uncomfortable with it. I sat two of them down, and I make them to realize what I saw in them that they don't even know they can do. It took me a while. It took me a lot of conversation, a lot of convincing, discussion with them for them to even realize that, yes, it is for developmental purpose. So if I've decided not to, or if I want to go by their way, really, I will not be doing them good, and they will only feel that they are best in their comfort zone. So sometimes it is important that we take people out of their comfort zone, because the more challenges you face, the better you that people will see.
Awesome.
So job rotational strategy, whether the employee sometimes initially likes it or not, but it's important that you have a conversation, make them realize that there's something you see. I listened to Bumi at some point when she was giving little biography, where she mentioned that her supervisor saw something she did not even realize she has, when she came into the HR space initially. So sometimes it's like that. So rotational strategy, we need to deploy it from time to time. That is one. Then number two contribution I want to make is, I see a lot of, I speak just yesterday, Friday, I was having conversation with some of my mentees, and I see a lot of, young job seeker or newly employed people. Nobody is ready to grow up. Rather, everybody wants to go up.
Yeah.
And I keep asking that now, seeing me sitting where I am today, you need to listen to my story. I didn't get to where I am today by default. I grew into what I am today.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, we did the DTP graduate programs. And I tell you, as I speak to you, a lot of them, when they join 2 months into joining, 3 months into joining, there are 1,001 complaints.
Yeah.
And I make them to understand there's no perfect system anywhere.
Yeah.
The opportunity you have, the moment you are in, not even a job seeker, now you have a job. But the patience to learn, the resilience to overcome a lot of internal bottleneck, and like Kemi said, focusing on yourself. I, for instance, like I used to say to my mentees, I don't get motivated by external factors, whether they are like what hygiene factors talked about in management, whether they are present or they are not. I don't get motivated by that. I get motivated by my intrinsic, ability. I motivate myself regardless of the environment. I said it to people. So 2 months down the line of their employment, there are 1,000,001 complaints. This is not that, that is not this is not everybody, no, pay is not. A lot of young graduates or a lot of new job seekers these days, they put money first. And again, I have to let them know that, see, when I began my career, despite the fact that one of the best, NYSC graduating student in my school, then doing NYSC, I won several awards when I was serving. Yes, I served in the bank. They gave me a fantastic recommendation to be retained, but somebody blocked the chance, and I began my career as a contract staff in the bank. So I wasn't looking at the money at that time. I was doing what I was doing, and I was seeking for more opportunity, more job, acquiring more job to myself, asking my supervisor to give me most difficult and brain taxing, role.
Hmm.
This is the best way anybody can learn and grow into what will catapult you to the money you think you need. But these days, the orientation, the culture is different. They want to start today and be where Lara is immediately. They want to start with and be where Lara is immediately. These are the challenge.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tayo, for that. Thank you. That was powerful. I mean, I said at the beginning of this program, that's the vision behind my HR Story Live Series, to bring the story behind the glory. People see the glory, they don't know the story, and they all think it's easy. And that is the whole essence and purpose of my HR Story Live, so that we can bring people with the glory here live and hear their story, so we can understand what they've actually been through. Thank you so much, Tayo, for that addition. Thank you. I'm grateful. We have a question here that states, how do you handle a situation of you being over experienced for a role, even when you know the exposure of the role will give you what you want on the long run? It is an international role.
Okay. First of all, why would you want to apply for a role you are more experienced? That is how do I put it? Where you are more experienced for the role. Consider things like pay, structure of the organization.
It is an international role.
Hello. Maybe I should explain myself better. I should explain the question better.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That would help give proper context. Thank you.
Yes. So, okay, I work currently in Nigeria and seconded to head the office in Cameroon, and so it's more like a local role. However, this role that I felt I could have done well with is a role in Facebook in Ireland. That is not the same. You can't put it in the same context. It's a bigger, wider, much better experience and much better environment than I would get where I'm currently. That's why I got through the phase of recruitment process and I was told I was over-experienced. That is why I asked the question. It's not because I see a role like at my level, I want to go and do a management trainee role. Definitely not. But the kind of exposure, the kind of opportunities that are found thereafter is greater than the role I currently am in. So it's not a bad idea to actually have such a shift. So how would you handle such?
Okay, were you offered the role? Have you been offered the role?
No, I was not offered the role because they claimed, they said I was over-experienced for the job.
Okay, you need to also realize that fine, in as much as you want exposure, and this kind of job will definitely give you the exposure, they also have their internal processes. They have their pay structure, which has been defined. So you coming in would distort that, and no organization would want to, go on with that kind of recruitment. However, I understand your point of view. You need that exposure, but being a structured company as they are, they wouldn't want to bring someone in who will distort their internal processes. So I would advise you keep applying to jobs that you think would give you the necessary exposure, while also, putting yourself in a place of learning, such that you want to acquire more and you add more to your skill sets.
Thank you very much, Kemi.
Right, you're welcome.
Thank you. I have another question here. It reads, how do I package myself for the CISO level? I already have 18 years experience on the job.
Wait, I didn't get that. How do I package myself for what?
So for the CISO level, I already have 18 years experience on the job.
Oh, Lara, you are breaking. You are breaking. I didn't get that.
Okay, is it clearer now?
Yes.
So the question reads, how do I package myself for a CISO level job?
Okay.
I already have 18 years experience on the job.
Okay. Well, I would also talk from personal experience. One, you have to be a person of value, because money moves in the direction of value. You have to be a person of value. Then two, visibility. How visible are you even in your workplace? When you get jobs done, do they know you actually do these jobs? Do you speak up? Are you visible enough? So packaging comes with a lot of things. You have to work on yourself, self-worth, self-awareness. You need to be aware of your environment, what works there, what is the culture like. I work in an environment that is all men, you understand? And I broke that jinx coming in as the only female at first, then we have another female. So what I did to become more visible, I had to put in more effort into my work. So my work spoke for me. And they said, so a woman can actually do this. If you know, the agri space is widely dominated by men. But as a woman coming in, I had to be very intentional with what I do, how I do them. I spoke up for myself, or I've been able to do this, I've been able to achieve this, and they were impressed. So packaging, well, you use the term packaging, but I would use value. Be a person of value, such that when decisions need to be made, you are called into the meeting, you are called to, give your input. So that is when you become visible, you become attractive for you to be promoted and to move up the career ladder. So packaging is not just about dressing well and sitting on the chair. No, what are you doing? Are they seeing what you are doing? Are you making impact? So once you start making impact and you are visible, you'll be seen and heard. And that is how you grow. Simple.
Wow, I think that summarizes everything that comes with positioning yourself for a C-suite level role. I mean, the person used the word packaging, but I would say positioning actually, because positioning is actually what describes all that Kemi had just mentioned with regards to being visible, with regards to bringing value, with regards to being understanding what the business needs and the requirements are, with regards to making an impact as well. So for me, it is positioning, and that comes with you being intentional, like Kemi did mention, from our experience being in a male-dominated area, because that is what will give the business trust to recommend you for a C-suite position. Wow, it's been an interesting and exciting and insightful learning session. So I have one question here. Talking about making impact, how can you make impact where one's idea is not allowed to see the light of the day? That's a deep question.
Well, I would say I faced that at some time, but I'm a very resilient person and I'm very persuasive. If I come through this route and I experience some backlash, I go back, re-strategize, and come back from another point of view. So at every time I try and I get maybe some rejections, I go back to the drawing board to see how I can better present my idea. No idea is stupid, no idea is useless, but how you also present it matters. You are talking, but are you communicating? Because this, the leaders view things differently. If it's not aligned with the business goals, they might likely throw it away. But are you communicating? Are you making them see reasons why they should go with your idea? So again, like I mentioned, I use data a lot. I use data, and because we have a BIU unit. I work with them, get some of this data and insights. And when I come up with my ideas, I use data to back up my ideas. I present facts. And most of the time, I would say, it gets approved. And that is something that has really helped me make impacts.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kemi, for sharing that very practical and relatable experience. A lot of times we come with ideas, like Kemi did mention, it might not be the right time for the business at that point, one. Two, it might also be that the business isn't ready for that idea at that time. Or three, it might be maybe you did not communicate it appropriately. Like Kemi did mention, it's important to understand the environment, understand the context, and make sure your idea brings value that meets the immediate needs of the business, perhaps a burning issue. if the business, for instance, if the business current challenge is in a particular area, and you're bringing an idea that speaks to another area, that might not be what they want to focus on at that time. So it takes a lot of emotional intelligence as well to understand and read in between the line what the critical business needs and ensure that your idea speaks to the need of the business. But like Kemi said, don't give up at once. Always find a better time to go back again, represent, and speak the language of the business. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Adebayo Adegun, for that comment. In addition to packaging question, kindly develop your executive presence for you to attract the C-suite level. Yes, he also speaks with executive, he speaks to executive presence. Beyond that, your communication skills, your courage, your presence, and all of those things are important. I think for me, I realized that it gets to a point in our career that we need to learn to go way above just having functional experience, but having core business experience, your commercial acumen, your business knowledge also would help, elevate or accelerate your career, especially to the C-suite. Take out some time to understand the requirement for C-suite in your environment, then build your career or develop yourself in that direction. I remember a couple of years ago, while I was still in the consulting industry, I was very good, man. I was good. My appraisals were always outstanding. But there was a time that I missed promotion twice, and I was wondering, I was good on the job now. So, okay, what was the requirement for the next level? Was the next managerial level? Then, initially, when I missed the first promotion, I became very upset. I even threatened to resign. Despite all of this, I wasn't promoted. The second time I missed, then I had a conversation with my line manager to understand, okay, so why wasn't I promoted to the next level? And the response I got was, you are not ready. I'm like, but I'm doing the job well. I'm doing the job where I'm delivering. My performance outcome is strong. So yes, you're doing the job well, but you're not ready. You're not showing readiness. You're not showing capability for the next level. Was when I realized that beyond just doing the job, there were other skills for managerial level that I needed to learn. I learned the hard way because I missed promotion twice. But when I learned what those skills are, which is packaging or positioning for me, I got the promotion the next time. Wow, it's been lots and lots of learning. Like Tayo mentioned earlier, it's about reading the stories of listening to stories to change lives. We're not just here to say, oh, I went through this and now to the glory of God. No, the purpose is for us to make an impact to change lives. And that is why that is the vision behind my HR Storybook, where all we do is to bring life experiences to empower other people so that they will not go through what we went through. I mean, a lot of us had it tough, accelerating or going through our career ranks, but for the younger generation, we are here to share and lend our shoulders to them so that they can learn from. So we have remarkable stories, Kemi stories as well in my HR Storybook. On your screen are places where you can get copies of my HR Storybook. Thank you so much, everyone. I don't know if there's any question from anyone. I can take one more question while we call it a day this evening. Thank you, Chinwe. Thanks for your comment. Chinwe says, thank you so much, Mrs. Kemi Onadiran. Inspiring story, very insightful. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, Coach Lara. Great session. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, thanks, Efe. Efe states, I totally agree. It's important to be aware of your personal brand levels because at that level, it's not just technical, but attitude and personality. Then you establish a reputation as a valuable team player and potential leader. Finally, outside of work, make sure the online identity you portray is consistent with your brand values. Thank you, Efe, for that. Akin Araba says, amazing and enlightening session. Thank you. Kate says, insightful session. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an amazing learning time, listening to inspiring stories, and us picking a lot of principles from it. Thank you. Yes, Buabi asks, please, can we have this material in our mail, the recording? It is interesting. Yes, for everyone who registered, the recording will be shared, and I'm also going to post on my social media platform. Okay. Wow, thank you. It's been lots of learning. We share stories here to impact lives. Thank you, Kemi, for your time. We are really grateful. Like I did mention, you're someone that I admire so much, and it's been awesome having you again. You want to tell us a bit about your book, Rookie 101? Where can people find your book? Where can they get copies of your book, and how can they reach you?
Okay, Rookie 101 is a book I wrote with every job seeker in mind. You know, times have changed, and looking at what we went through during my time, you know, a lot of job seekers need this hand-holding. They ask questions. They are asking questions about how to move fast, how to become this, how to become that. And some don't even understand there are processes to these things. So in my book, I explain how to get your dream job, before attending an interview, what you should do, do's and don'ts, even during interviews. During interview these days, I hear a lot of things. I see a lot of, you know, attitudes, and I'm asking myself, what's changed? What happened? So I was able to come up with this compendium of what to do before the interview, during the interview, and after the interview, how to keep your job, your first 90 days at work. People struggle a lot with their first 3 months at work. Yeah, so there's this nervousness of, okay, would I perform? Would I not perform? You know, fear of the unknown, the environment. So how to just, you know, keep your composure and focus on your work, add value and impact in your first 90 days. Then office politics. So far, it has been very interesting. I get some feedback from those who have read the book, and it has also helped them in their career. So it's like a GPS that helps you provide some sort of clarity and direction. So you can send me a DM on LinkedIn, on my Instagram page, careers_with_Kemi, to get your book. To get a copy, it's available in hard copy for 2,000 naira and soft copy for just 1,000 naira. I made it cheap so that it's affordable and easily accessible to these young job seekers. Basically, it's not really for monetary gain. I just want to, you know, close a gap which I identified, because it's becoming really common. And there are some reasons some of these job seekers don't get feedback or don't get called upon after an interview. So this book addresses some of these gray areas. So yeah, you can send me a DM on LinkedIn, Kemi Onadiran, on Instagram at careers_with_Kemi. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow, thank you so much. Can we have any member of the participants just give a vote of thanks based on how impactful this session has been? Anyone from the participants, just unmute your mic and just share a 1-minute vote of thanks with Kemi. Oh, Omotola, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm on the salon.
That style is okay like that. Don't finish now. Just pack it up.
Thank you so much. It was an amazing session. I rushed out of one to join in this one, and you know, it's been amazing all the way. Thank you so much, Coach Kemi. Thank you, Coach Lara, for doing this for us every time, every month. There's always something to learn. And thank you so much, Coach Kemi, your story, for bearing it all, you know, for talking through all the sessions, all the phases of your career. There was absolutely something to pick. And on behalf of all the participants at this session, we're really grateful for taking out time to be with us today. Thank you for pouring yourself onto us. And then I believe that everyone will take the learnings and then it would make an impact in their lives. Thank you. We're grateful. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omotola, for that powerful vote of thanks. I mean, that just summarizes everything. Thank you, everyone. Despite the challenges or whatever we are going through, let's stay strong. Let's hang in there and let's stay resilient. On that note, we've come to the end of our September session of my HR Story Live. We have another great personality coming on board in October, and in due course, we would make that announcement. Thank you, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you. Stay safe and hang in there. This too shall pass. We are all made for greatness. You just need to believe in yourself, trust the process, and hang in there. Thank you, everyone.